Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. Just let me get set up. Okay, microphone's working okay. Let's see. Okay, I think we're live on YouTube, we're live on Twitch. That's both good. Okay. Hello everybody. Welcome. I've got a tangle of cables here I just need to sort out. Thank you so much. I hope everybody's doing well this week. Right, let's get started. There isn't going to be any music in the game right now because, basically because I turned it all off at some point. So I'm going to be adjusting the sound settings in a minute. Hey! Welcome. I hope you're doing good this week, because, yeah. Why is there 3 players in queue? Yeah, usually those queues that long are fine. On, like, sometimes on patch launch day, and especially on expansion launch, you get, like, crazily huge, queues. Like, sometimes in the hundreds or the thousands of people. It's quite funny. Let's see. Sound settings. That's good. There we go. Sound effects up as well. Oh, the voice rate on actually. System settings is put on 60. Ambient sounds. Today we are going to, it's the weekly reset in FFXIV. So I have so because it's weekly reset, a whole bunch of stuff is renewed. So, and hopefully the queues will be pretty good, unlike last Monday. But first I'm gonna play this. Oh, it's Air Force. It's the little rail shooter. We're getting a new version of this in the next update, which I'm kind of excited for because I don't know if they've ever updated this minigame. Let's see if I can get a perfect score. I very rarely get perfect score on this. I usually miss 1 or 2. So those are gates, which are little mini games you can do in Cold Saucer, which is this big casino area that I'm currently in. It's currently fun to do them because you get because there's the special event that happens at the end of every patch where you can get additional rewards and trade them in for like usually like past or rare to get rewards in the game. And currently you can get like a few from doing those, which is nice. I've got 27 currently. Let's have a look. Okay. So, first I'm going to go and check my retainers. Actually, I know what it is. I'm going to go to the Dominant because I can trade in like 40,000 gil, which isn't much, but it does add up week by week. There we go. Split this into... No, split this into 40. Go. Trade that in. Donation basket. Look at this mount. This is a really difficult to get mount in the game. It's not like, I guess it's not difficult, it's really grindy. So honestly, props to that person for managing to pick that up. It's very cute, but it takes so long. I do not have the patience to try and get that mount, I have to admit. Let's see. So we've got... slow way towards 90 million gil, which isn't a lot to be honest, but like in terms of this game, but it is a lot for me. I think it's like the highest I've ever had. What is that to say? What is that? So I can gather these myself, like shockingly easy amounts. So, key things that we can do this week. So let's go. Let's check currency. So we've got a new weekly reset for these, and oh, I can get more of that as well. Okay, so I can afford to get, like, one more weapon upgrade for the relic with my current tomestones of heliometry. I need to spend some tomestones of mathematics because I'm about to cap out. So I'll find something to spend on those for the moment. Probably an accessory or something, I have to guess. Let's see. I'm going to do that first because otherwise I'll end up camping out. So let's go to solution 9. This is the current main endgame city. And the cities change every expansion. You usually get 2. You'll get like a main city, and then you'll get like a side city that has a lot of the end game activities in. It's changed in Ninja, see what I... Yeah, first, I definitely need a ring, so I'm gonna get... I know what I'll do. Because there's nothing else I can get with these other than... Let's get a ring of aiming. Story of ring of aiming. And I think, if I remember correctly, I have... Yeah, an ever-charged blaze. So I can exchange that for... You get the upgraded version of those, which is nice. I accidentally bought that glaze like ages ago. Extract material from that. Oh, it's shattered. Let's see if I have. Oh, it's shattered. Didn't actually mean to close that. Okay. Okay, that should put my currency down. Yeah, it does. Okay, I can basically, if I get max, I basically capped out this week. I'm aiming to cap these out before the end of the patch because then I can use them to buy tombstone materials because basically what will happen at the end of the patch is these will be discontinued and this one will move to like this position and then we'll get a new one, which I believe is called the Tombstones of Mnemonics. But as such, I kind of want to have these as close to being capped as possible, so that when the new patch drops, I can have maximum stock for buying new rare crafting materials, which I can either use to create potions and food for the raid tier, or just buy materials to sell for big profit on day one. Either kind of works. I have a short that I put out on YouTube just on like things you can recraft and prepare for the new patch drop, which actually did pretty well. On that note, I actually got some subscribers from my short yesterday, which is the first time I've ever got YouTube subscribers from a piece of content so far, like since I started doing the shorts program. So that's like really good for me. I'm really happy about that. Also, like I have a bunch of other shorts dropping this week. I have like one each day through Friday, which will be the third week that I've managed to do like weekday daily shorts, which I'm really happy about because yeah, it's just a nice little project that I'm working on, which I'm enjoying immensely. Okay, so that's usually expert. Let's see what we can get in an alliance raid this week. So I'm going to switch back to Ninja. Just DPS in need. Oh no, they changed. It's now tank in need. I guess we're going to tank that. Everyone needs tanks today. I always try to do whatever job is in need, with the one exception of healer, because I just can't play healers. I find them very stressful. So let's get that queue set up. There we go. I do love the music here, it's just really chill. Oh, my button presses aren't showing up. Did Neuropad not load? Check if plugins are... Oh, there it is, okay. I had to allow it in YouTube Studio. That's expensive. Yeah, there we go. maybe less than 5 minutes, although it can be tricky. Actually, let me just let's run an expert roulette instead. Expert roulettes usually pop pretty quick. As you can see, that was an instant queue pop. So my goal today is going to be running the new alliance, well not the new alliance raid, but the latest alliance raid, which is Sandoria. I'm going to be probably doing some Pilgrim's Traverse pugging in order to get the weekly challenge log things on that. I'm going to just generally be grinding some tombstones, and that's kind of going to be my primary plan for the moment.
There are beasts ahead of you. They must have gotten in and made themselves at home. Access hatch nearby that leads inside. Look for an opening. Detecting something big. You'll have to deal with it to continue on.
this. Let's press on slowly and see if the healer comes back. No, we don't have a new one. It's just the, as in just the usual weekly one, so like Sandoria. The next Alliance raid will be in like the .5 update, which is like probably gonna be April next year. We might have to see if the healer comes back. Patch day is going to be 16th of December. And that will be the new 8-person mode. Which I learned from the website the other day, that actually technically called a raid though.
Everkeep's construction was apparently a constant battle against the rising water level. During the war, the people labored to maintain the castle.
Like ARR and Heavensward, where like the raids were actually had kind of like slight dungeon levels in them.
Hold on. Someone's got communications. Stay alert.
I have to admit, I was kind of enjoying just seeing how far you were.
So, you have come. Let us measure your strength. That was hardly a challenge, I see. You will show me more. I bid you press on.
Can be kind of weird when you don't get that so is it something that requires you to get okay, I shall adjust my microphone. Actually, I'll turn the audio down. Okay. How's this? Okay. I'll adjust the sound effects once I'm out of this dungeon, because they might have them too high. So that kind of makes sense. Come on. I'll fight you guys over here.
You are untroubled thus far, but I have something that may test you yet. This machine has long guarded
for
these
those of you who
crumbling
maybe
walls.
remember Final Fantasy IX a bit better than I do, was this a boss or an enemy in that game? I'm kind of assuming it was, but I'm actually not sure.
How will you handle this?
Yeah, like I knew you really liked Knight, so I was wondering if you'd like have a better memory of this than I do. But yeah. I know the next dungeon has an enemy from 9, which like I didn't remember at all, but then I saw like a comment like actually addressing it. Which was the Amdusias from, which apparently appears in Pandemonium in 9, but you can also fight it in Treno as like a challenge in the weapon shop, which seems to be where you're going to encounter it in this, because it looks like the next dungeon is like Treno inspired.
Still alive. How unfortunate.
Yeah, like 9 was never my favorite of the Final Fantasy games, so it's one I remember like quite poorly.
It would save me trouble later.
I should probably replay it at some point. Like do a like FF9 reappreciation run. Let's get on our way. Yeah! GG, everyone. Good Viper can get that commendation. You know, I haven't got a single minion from this. Only one commendation, honestly. Yeah, I didn't really mind the aesthetic. There was just something about 9 that just never really hooked me. Like, I like a lot about it. Like, I like the music, I like a lot of the characters. But yeah, okay, let's turn sound effects down. Let's put those at, like, 50. I can turn this back up slightly. Oh wait, let's put that there. Okay, let's just raise this slightly. This is the... I don't want to put it in orange territory. Okay, let's see. I'm just messing around with my audio levels, so let's turn the music volume down slightly as well. Just put that at 60. Nah, 10's still one of my favorites. 10 was the first Final Fantasy game I put over 100 hours into. Actually, I think it was the first game I put over 100 hours into back in the day. So I have a soft spot in my heart for 10. Let's put this at 50. There we go. Okay, let's see if we can queue Sandoria. I'm gonna try and go in on Ninja because I do need well, I guess I don't need any of the stuff because I like to put it blunt. 24 minutes? I'm not queuing that long. Slowly. I think the issue is really that, like, after 10, and specifically after 12, because, like, I never played 12. 12 is actually 12, like, 9 is one I should revisit, and 12 is one I should actually play. So I might get the Zodiac Age in a sale and then, like, play that on stream at some point. Because I do think it's a bit off that I've never actually gone through it. But I think the issue really is after 12, like, all the games went through, like, development hell, essentially. Like, 13 and 15, like, just had... Like, 13 and 15 just had, like, insanely, like, broken dev cycles, and I think it's kind of a miracle that any of them really came out, like, half as good as they even did, and neither of them, I think, are especially great. Yeah, I'm, like, really curious about that, because I only really know people who played, like, the non-Zodiac Job Edition, because it wasn't, like, available in the West unless you used emulation. Which I did try once, but my laptop just could not run FF12, so I gave up. But then Zodiac Age, like, changing the license board system is, like, I think a lot more interesting. So yeah, I do think 12 is, like, one that I really have to give a shot to. I just remember there were loads of issues with it because it's the one that followed up on 11, and a lot of people really critiqued its combat system, and, like, it's not just the combat system, but, like, the enemy systems for being, like, MMO light. There was a lot more grinding in it, and things like that. But I also know that the Zodiac Job Edition has things like I think it has, like, a speed up option and things like that. So, like, it's gonna be probably a lot more, like, fun to play. Yeah. I remember like rewriting the whole sphere grid in 10, so I could try and beat the Dark Aeons without just paying Yojimbo absurd amounts of money. I tried to replay 10 with the, what's it called? Like, the HD release, but, like, I got to Mount Gagazet and then just, like, burnt out. I, like, didn't get further than that. Wait, actually, I need to put this there to block chat. Oh, it's, Labyrinth of the Ancients. Hello everybody. See, it's that thing where it's like the Heavensward raids all in the Moogle Tombstone thing. You can get a ton of stuff from Juno and like from Sandoria, but you still just get Crystal Tower in the raid. Oh, Gideon Emery's voice is so good. One of the funniest things is he's also like OG Urianger from ARR before they replaced all the voice actors. And like, he's so bad in that, and it just shows how much the voice direction for ARR was just really terrible. Because like, it's Gideon Emery, how could you have him mess up that bad? Ten 2's really good. Like, especially like mechanically, like it's a really interesting iteration of the ATB system. I've never actually engaged in Critical Role at all. I know, that's like probably a shock. I can't believe you don't even have an AoE combo as Ninja at like level 50. Just sitting here like spamming my kunai. Honestly, like one Final Fantasy with an OST that's so much like better than you can really expect is 13-2. Like 13-2 has like such a good. It's like probably one of my favorite soundtracks like in the franchise, and it's just like, but why though? Like. That's really cool to know. But yeah, like, it's one of those things where, like, the original ARR, like, voice cast, like, they're all really good. In everything other than ARR. And it just tells you, like, wow, the voice direction for ARR must have been abysmal. Because, like, these are all super talented actors, like, how, like, that do, like, amazing in other roles. One thing I always remember is, like, when I got to Heavensward for the first time, and, like, obviously everybody had a completely different voice actor, but obviously, like, it's not, like, they don't, like, actually play, they're not actually different people, but it was really funny because, as a player, I was just there, and it, like, you know, you hear about those experiences where some people think that, like, all of their family or friends have been replaced by other people, but, like, nobody else acknowledges it. It's like, it felt like one of those situations, right? It's just like, someone's come in and replaced Alpino and Tataru with somebody else, and, like, nobody seems to think it's strange. It was just, like, found it really funny. I got used to them very quickly, but that initial experience was really jarring. I get so thrown off with ninja at low-level rotations because you use Kasatsu in a completely different way. I completely forgot that Liam O'Brien, like, was Kaios. Sadly, I don't think they'll probably ever really do, like, a full-on... Like, because they did the 13 tie-in with, like, the lightning costume and stuff. And that's on the Mog Station now, like, lightning and snow. And, like, once things go on the Mog Station from those kind of collabs, it's basically a sign that they're never going to get run again. Which is sad. And especially because there's, like... We did do 15. But 15's, like... 15 hasn't been put on the Mog Station yet. So, like, which implies they're still going to, like, continue running it periodically. But 13's kind of just, like... Seems like it's done. We might get, like, some kind of 13 tie-in if they do, like, a 13 remaster collection or something. At some point. But we'll have to see. I do think it would be cool to get some more 13 stuff in... We did do a 16 collab. You get to fight Ifrit alongside Clive, and you get to do a whole bunch of like real-time dodges by playing by using a Kajuti action. Yeah, you get Clive's gear, and you get Torgal as a mountain minion. Yeah, it was before Dawn Trail, I'm pretty sure. It was like... Let's see how many people are gonna stand on that. I'll stand. Okay. But yeah, no, you get Torgal as a mountain minion, you get Clive's outfit, it's very fun. I wasn't a huge impression of it. It does have this really funny moment where the Wandering Minstrel, who is obviously just Yoshi P, but like in the game, basically looks straight at the camera and tells you to play FF16. It's like genuinely really funny. Because like basically Clive goes. It does that similar thing to you guys someone needs to go and stand on that blue platform. We're gonna have a wipe now because it's gonna spawn like the Iron Giants. Thanks, Philly. Yeah, I think kind of a bit like 7 Remake, and I say Remake specifically. Rebirth has the same issue, but like 16 has that issue where like, I think if you just don't do a lot of the side quests, you have a much better time with the story. Like Remake and Rebirth have similar issues, where like, there can be kind of a bit too many, side quests, and a lot of them are, to be blunt, really bad. I used to have really bad tank anxiety, so like I get it. I literally only got over my tank anxiety. Well, I still haven't got over it, to be honest. That's why I play Ninja a bunch of the time. Because I'm just like, yeah, I can't be bothered to deal with being a tank right now, so I'm gonna play Ninja. But like, honestly, most of what got me over it was literally just I couldn't play Gunbreaker unless I was a tank, and I really liked the way that Gunbreaker plays. So I was like, you know what, I guess I'm gonna have to learn how to tank. But yeah, when I'm trying to remember, like, cause I didn't play tank at all until like post Endwalker stuff. And like, I remember finishing Endwalker and I was too scared to even go into like an expert roulette on tank. Like, look, And like then I like most recently I like progged an entire Savage tier like on tank from the start, and I'm just like, wow, I've like come really far. Yeah, like healing is like a role I actually like have a lot of anxiety playing. Like I don't like playing healer because I find it very like stressful. Yeah, it's like, but I kind of get you because it is a different experience. I mean, I don't play support and things like that. I mean, I don't play Overwatch at all, to be honest. But like, yeah, I kind of get it. But yeah, healer is just like, I find healer stressful. I don't think all the props to people who play healer, to be honest, because it's a really stressful role. But see, I actually like I don't like playing. Why is my health so low? It's like the heal's not healing. But like Astro is like a job I find really hard to play on controller. Like I know you play on controller, so you have to get it to work somehow. But like I find it very clunky to play. Not as bad as Scholar. Like Scholar is a job that I just can't play on controller, and honestly have no idea how it works, which is why I'm kind of happy that it's still tied to Summoner, so I can just ignore it, basically. Ah, yeah, that makes sense. I do think that gameplay style, like in terms of like how you actually interact with the like controls in the game, like do actually impact a lot of stuff, like in terms of what jobs you actually find comfortable. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, there's a lot of stuff with just controller layout. Like, you can see my controller layout currently for Ninja, and like, pretty much every job I do has the whole, like, single target on, like, the left and, like, AoE on the right. I might actually have to adjust my my layout though if we get more abilities, because like I might just have to create like a second hotbar that's like the AoE hotbar where a lot of it's like duplicated. Bard is fun. Like, I started the game as Black Mage, but, like, Fizz Ranged was the first, like, role that I really, like, fell in love with. When I switched to playing, initially Bard and then Dancer. But, like, I remember, like, leveling Archer for the first time and going, wow, this is so much more fun than I was playing Thaumaturge. Did you know that back in ARR, like, Bard had the healer LB? It's just like a random bit of FF history. Like, when it was the only Fizz ranged, it had like the healer LB instead of like its own like DPS LB. Which actually ran into problems because there were like certain dungeons where if you had like a Bard, like, you didn't, like, you could get 2 bards and just have no, like, DPS LBs, like, available. Which actually meant that some of the hard-mode dungeons were infamously, like, really difficult to impossible. Like, I think, like, Amdivor Keep is the one that I always hear nightmares about. Like, specifically the Demon Wall. Because Demon Wall was apparently, like, really, well, a bit of a wall. Yeah, I try and keep... I try and keep a lot of my bars similar. Like, where I change it, it tends to, like, mess me up a bit. Like, for example, I have, like, arm's length, like, here on Ninja, and as a result, I kind of always end up, like, not being able to press it, because it's in a completely different place than a lot of my tanks. Look at that tank, that's tank over there. I always forget that these spawn. Come on. We can kill him. Oh, we can definitely kill him. Last expansion, you actually potentially had to do a second Ancient Flare. At this point, it's very, like, unlikely. Yeah, let's combat healer. Although there was a dude with a new Shankar, so I probably should have commed that guy. Oh, that is really funny. It's always funny when you're a DPS and you end up getting loads of comms. Like, sometimes I get loads of comms as Ninja, and I'm like, but why though? Like, particularly in, like, dungeons. Like, I'll come out of a dungeon and I'll have, like, 2 comms, and I'll be like, okay. Was the tank that bad? Was the healer that bad? Yeah. That's a really key aspect of just being comfy with the game. Like, if you're comfy with your job and, like, then you can focus more on the fights, and then the fights get easier, and then you get less stressed. Let's see if I can go into Sandoria again. Let's see if it's the 20... It's now a more than 30-minute wait, so yeah, like, maybe there's going to be no Alliance raid today. Let's go to... Let's see. I'm going to go to... Wolkdorf. Black Mage was like my main until the end of Shadowbringers. I hate playing it now, like, so much. Like, I think this expansion I didn't even level it, like, manually. I just used, like, the Palu, like, quests to, like, level it up. So it's just like, yeah, I ain't playing this anymore. Yeah, I had, like, it's really funny, because, like, I think the nail in the coffin for Black Mage for me was when I did Eden Titan for the first time in, like, when I was doing the Eden raids. And I died, like, 8 times, I think, in that fight. I think it was something like that. I spent, like, about 75% of the fight just, like, lying on the ground, raving out to the music, which was a fun experience in itself, but yeah, it kind of convinced me that, like, I probably shouldn't be playing Black Mage. Yeah, I remember switching to Dancer during Endwalker, and then just being like, wow, I've survived so much better now. Dragoon is a job I wish I liked. There's like a few jobs in this that I wish I liked more than I do, and Dragoon is one of them. Because Dragoon was like the first melee DPS that I leveled, because I was like, oh my god, it's Dragoon, it's so cool. And like, I absolutely hated playing it until like, at least level 70, after which it got vaguely tolerable. But yeah, it's still not a favorite. I don't like either of the maiming jobs, actually. Like, I don't like Reaper much either. Which just makes me sad. Because, you know, it appeals to my, like, the teenage goth that lives still in my soul. Like, by contrast, like, Monk was a melee job that I absolutely loved, and I was not expecting to at all. I just, like, I picked up Pugilist just to level the job, because I was leveling all of the base classes to 30, because I wanted to unlock all the job stones. And then I just ended up playing Monk all the way to, like, level cap at the time, because I was just like, I absolutely love the way this job plays. Yeah, the nest videos are really funny. Yeah, Ninja was another job that I wasn't expecting to like as much as I do. Like, both of my favorite melee DPSs, which are like Ninja and Monk, are like both jobs that I did not expect to like when I like picked them up. And all of the jobs that I did expect to like when I picked them up are ones I didn't actually like at all. Like Reaper, Dragoon, like Viper. Like, they're all like jobs that I'm like, I actually don't like playing these at all. Yeah, they're less bad at floor tanking than they used to be because of the way they changed how, like, the jumps work, like, mechanically. Because they don't, like, physically move your position anymore, they just, like, visually do. Whereas before they would, like, physically move your position, and so they just, like, fire you off the platforms all the time. Yeah, I like jobs that are, like, consistently busy, I'd say. Like, at least, like basically I need something to be happening every 30 seconds or so. Like, I'd say is kind of, like, my thing with jobs. Like, that's why I like Gunbreaker, basically because of the Gnashing Fang combo. Like, I find Dark stressful, because I find it too, like, downtimey during, like, outside of its burst phases. I don't like the very rapid up-down of, like, having not very little to do followed by a lot to do at the same time. I vastly prefer something to be kind of consistently either busy or not busy, basically. Oh. What's our team? It's I'm like the only non-caster, like, in this team, which is genuinely quite funny. Like, Dark Knight is another job that I really wanted to like, and then didn't. Which I find really sad, because, like, Dark was the first tank that I leveled. And, like, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed its story, and, like, I'd say I enjoy its aesthetic, but I actually don't. I find a lot of its armors, not very fun or good. But I do like a lot of its weapons, because, you know, you can't really not big, you can't really get better than, like, giant swords, really. Oh, there's an accursed horde on this floor. I'm gonna go and get that. Yeah, Reaper is very much like dark DPS mode. But yeah, it's one of those things where, like, Dark Knight I like, because it was the first tank I leveled, and I did a lot of the MSQ with it, because I liked the aesthetic of having it in, like, just having it in cutscenes and things. Even though, like, whenever I had to do, like, a trial, I'd, like, switch over to Dancer. But yeah, then I, like, it was just so wild, because then I actually, like, started trying to play it at, like, high levels, and I was just like, I really don't actually like how this job plays. And I thought it was just, like, a tank problem at first, but then once I picked up Gunbreaker, or even picked up Paladin, I was like, no, actually, I vastly prefer playing these. Warrior I don't particularly enjoy playing, but, like, it's really easy. So it kind of doesn't matter. Like, Warrior for me is like a job I will play if I want to, like, solo a treasure map dungeon or something like that. Because, yeah, it can do that, which I think is really bad game design, I don't think. As much as I do enjoy soloing 8-person treasure map dungeons with Warrior, just because I think it's funny, I don't think it should be able to do that. Like, that is not good class design. It has too much healing. That's what I actually find playing Warrior in some content, like, quite stressful because of the way that its mitigation works. Like, because Warrior has a lot of, like, it has a lot of yo-yoing health. Like, because a lot of its abilities, like, don't actually, like, mitigate damage, they just, like, massively increase healing. So you can, like, heal up. But, like, I find it actually very stressful playing Warrior. Yeah, I remember you playing Warrior for ages. I completely forgot that you were even, like, a Dark Knight main in, like, a lot of ways, because I was just like, nah, you're a Warrior main. What are you talking about? But yeah, I mean, I soloed Heaven on High as Warrior, so, like, it's not like I massively dislike the job. But it is not, like, a favorite of mine. Like, Gunbreaker and Paladin are, like, definitely my two favorite, like, tanks currently. I don't know if I have a favorite caster. Like, because I kind of just don't like casting in this game. Like, the gameplay style just doesn't... I like the mobility, I guess. Like, cast bars do not appeal to me. Like, I've tried Red Mage is another job that I wish I liked more. Because Red Mage aesthetically is, like, kind of, like, my favorite, like, one of my favorite Final Fantasy aesthetics, like, in the franchise as a whole. But, like, I just don't enjoy its gameplay style. Yeah, like, Machinist is definitely, like, I don't know, like, sometimes I find Machinist a bit stressful. Like... I'm trying to think, like... So... My issue is... And it's one of the reasons I like Gunbreaker, is because... And Ninja as well, to a significant degree. Like... I'm a bit... So I'm a bit dense, which is not entirely true, but like what I mean is that like I find it very difficult to keep track of rotation times, and both Ninja and Gunbreaker are very convenient, like 2 minute, 1 minute, 30-second like timers. Like, I always know when my burst is coming up on those jobs. But, like, sometimes I have a lot of trouble with something like Red Mage, which has a lot of, like, gauge management and stuff. I just get a bit confused sometimes. Which is not exactly, like... Summoner is the most brain-dead job at this point. Which, I mean, I guess gives it a niche, but, like... Yeah, I'm very hyper-focused tunnel vision. Which means it's very difficult for me to deal with jobs that have... ironically a lot going on, in the sense of, like, managing a lot of different resources, and, like... Like, with Red Mage, it's, like, making sure, for example, that I have, like, the right amount of gauge at, like, the right points. And I'm just like, how I do that is hard. Yeah, I'm just gonna turn around. There's like absolutely no point carrying on. FE1's dead, Dave. No, I don't want best viewers streamview.com. Goodbye. I'm being attacked. See what these bots do to me? They make me get attacked by traverse clematises because I'm not paying attention. Yeah, I'm like, but yeah, it's why I like jobs that have very straightforward rotations. Like, I'm like, oh, this is on a cooldown and it comes up every minute. This is on a cooldown and it comes up every 2 minutes. And like, it doesn't really matter what the time is, it just matters that I can look at, say, Bloodfest on Gunbreaker and go, okay, I have 34 seconds left on Gunbreaker. I mean, left on that cooldown. Therefore, I should spend or not spend, like, this many cards in order to make sure that, like, things align correctly. I can't believe I got blown up. I'm like, how am I still alive? Which shoe is this? Is this the piano version? Doom, 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 doom. Yeah, you've always been, like, really good at fighting games. Fighting games were never a genre that I was able to super get into. Although with me, it was mostly an issue with, like, physical button presses. Like, I just find doing the commands in fighting games, like, really difficult. Level 96! I've got Enhanced Okamori. I will say, yeah, unfortunately I could never learn to play piano. I just remember that I could never quite figure out really how to do a dragon punch. Like, I just found the actual, like, button presses, like, really hard to pull off. And that's, like, one of the most basic moves. Fortune now smiles upon you, possibly. But like I like it in 14, which is like, so I kind of get you. I like the rhythm. I like the button presses. I like the fact you can sometimes even tell. Like, I like the fact that you kind of learn the muscle memory to the point of being able to honestly execute a lot of combos and a lot of your rotation without even, like, glancing at your hotbar. Because you just know how everything works. And that's just, like, a really nice, feeling, I guess. Also becomes a lot more necessary in really high-end content, like, because then you can actually look at the boss. Although a lot of repetition can help with that too, because you learn like the boss patterns. You find out how everything moves. Dun, 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 dun. My first ever solo attempt in this dungeon, I died so hard, literally just to this thing. Because I didn't manage to defeat the ads in time, and I got squished. I think this is going to be safe over here. Doing these in groups is so funny because it's just like, yeah. It really does. I mean, like, the Shadowbringers boss theme in general is just really, really good. One thing I really love about 14, actually, why is this more than 30 minutes? We just had a bunch of people go through it. Hopefully it will be really quick. I'll queue for a little bit and see. But yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah. One of the things I really like about 14 is that subsequent expansions don't just abandon earlier areas. Like, I like the fact that this is a fresh piece of level 100 content. I guess level 90 to 100 content, but it is like, in the first, so it's in the level, like, 70 to 80 zone range. And it, like, fleshes out, like, part of the lore there and some of the characters. And it's just really nice to just have that kind of, like, cycling back to just earlier it makes the world feel more alive, is, I guess, kind of where I'm coming from. It feels like there's always, like, more you can discover about these locations. I'm starting to be concerned this actually is going to be an every 30 minutes. Which means I'm gonna have to, like, reset. Just hoping to get through to 20 so I could get the Bright Lily Corsage, Demi Materia, Sacramental Spirits. Let's go reset your progress. I'm gonna get rid of this one. Oh, okay. I can't do that. Okay, I'll keep that save and then see if I can do it another time. Let's see. Let's leave that one. Enter Pilgrim's Traverse. Enter with Match Party. Let's go for 21 to 30. It's pretty low still. Let's maybe try a higher one. Doesn't really matter like what order I do some of these in. What matters is just that I hit certain milestones. So let's try Match Party. Let's try 31 to 50. Yeah, less than 5 minutes. Okay. I've like never managed to do a New Game Plus in this. Like I started a few, but like then I just get bored really quickly. I do really like that it's an option though. In a lot of ways I just go to the inn and like rewatch cutscenes if I really want to relive like a specific moment. Which I also just appreciate that you can. There's a couple of things that I just really appreciate in this game. One is that you can just go to, like, the thing in the inn, like the unending journey, and then just, like, rewatch cutscenes from, like, earlier points in the game. And the other is the New Game Plus system that just lets you go back to certain, like, points in the story and, like, relive them. So we've got, like, Shadowbringers. I think this is, like, base expansion. I think this is, like, 0.1 to 0.3. Like, I think this is, like, the patch content. And then this is, like, 0.4 and 0.5. Same with this. I think Shadowbringers is the best, like, X-Pack, like, overall. Like, it has a really solidly told, like, highly thematic story that ties together really well. It has really good, like, battle content. Like it's basically, I think, overall, it's just, like, an incredibly good expansion, like, both from a narrative perspective, from a music perspective, from like a gameplay perspective as well. I mean, there are some problems with it. There's like, I mean, the normal battle theme is terrible, but you can just turn it off, so that's fine. I really don't like the normal battle theme in Shadowbringers. Endwalker is pretty solid. At least the base expansion. I really don't like the patch. I mean, the patch content is fine in Endwalker, but it's really draggy. Like, it kind of feels like it really should have been condensed into, like, I'd say at least, like, 4 rather than 5 patches, at least, to be honest. Especially when you get to the end and you literally just have basically the same plot beats being played out, like, over and over again. Also, they really should have let the Scions have a proper holiday. Ultimate Thule definitely had me balling as well. Like, base Endwalker is really good. Like, it's like the sequel. It's basically the direct sequel to Shadowbringers. It's like Shadowbringers 2. And so, like, as a pair, they, like, work really well. Although the first part of Endwalker is basically, like, also, like, the end of Stormblood. because it deals with the whole, like, fall of the Gallian Empire and things. But, like, that's really solid. I really like both of them. Although, like, Endwalker, like, it doesn't, I wouldn't say it suffers, but, like, it's a lot less cohesive than Shadowbringers simply because it has, like, so much to wrap up. So, like, as a result, it's a lot, like, I'd say less coherent and, like, less, not like coherent, because it is coherent, less cohesive as a narrative than Shadowbringers is. Stormblood is just very messy. Stormblood and Dawntrail have a lot of the same issues in that, like, they're both expansions that try to do, I think, a bit too much. And, like, as a result, like, kind of don't hold together as well. Hey y'all! Welcome to the chat. Yeah, Dawntrail is this expansion that I have a lot of mixed feelings about. Like, I really like certain aspects of it a lot. And, like, not just the combat, I think the combat is universally, like, really good. Probably some of the best we've had in the game to date, to be honest. Especially after Endwalker, which honestly had not especially great combat encounters in a lot of places. Especially in, like, normal content, but anyway. But even, like, narratively, there's a lot of stuff I like in Dawntrail. I like how thematically cohesive it is in a lot of ways. I feel that Dawntrail is let down by just an actual, like on a technical writing level at points. Like, it has similar issues to Stormblood in that it's trying to do, like, a lot of different things. But it lacks a certain cohesiveness. It feels very much like a series of, I'd say, vignettes or short stories in parts, especially early on, that don't really get tied off. Like, I think really good examples of this is actually the ways that the allied tribes, like the Palu Palu, the Stormblood's really good. Like, I love all the expansions, to be honest. But, like the Palu Palu, the Yokwi, and the Mamulja, like, society quests all, like, tie up very specific... Like, less so with the Yokwi, but, like, with the other two, they tie up very specific, like, plot beats from the main expansion, which feel like they're left hanging. Like, the Mamulja's, like, the most obvious one, because it deals with the whole Shabral-Mamulja, like, conflict, and the Mamulja's, like, desire to move past, like, a kind of blessed sibling era. I want to write something, like a short video or something, maybe not an actual short, maybe just a shorter, like, long-form video on the way the Allied Society, like, quests work in Dawntrail versus other expansions. Because you've got, like, to be honest, in Shadowbringers and Stormblood, and in most of the previous expansions, other than Endwalker, they're mostly very peripheral. Like, they flesh out a part of the world, but they're not really, like, actually tied to the story in major ways. Endwalkers are interesting because they're all, like, basically epilogues to, like, the main story. Like, the Arcasidara, the Omicron, and the Loperites are all, like... They're all, like, responses to the main events of the story. Like, in the sense of the final days. Like, the Arcasidara, like, as funny as it is to have, like, elephant hippo riding Uber Eats, like, as its main plot, is primarily about, like, a group that gets displaced by the destruction of Vanaspati, which, like, happens with the final days. The Omicron is obviously all about, like, Ultima Thule and the aftermath of Ultima Thule. And the Loperites is all about, like, okay, what do the Loperites actually do that now that their primary purpose in existence, which was to evacuate, like, Atheris and find a new homeworld, is just, like, no longer relevant because you, like, defeated the final days. So those are all like very cohesive like responses to the main story. Whereas Dawn Trail's like they're very similar, but they're all responses to like different plot beats. Like the Pelu Pelu is a response to one, the fact that like the two halves of Kozama Uka are like separated due to like the storm. Like the whole bandit problem in like the southern part of it and like all of that. Like it's like it ties up like all of those like zone-based loose ends. The Mamulja one is like very explicitly like what happens to Mamulja society like after all of the events that you do in Yaktel, and like the whole like piece with the Shabral and like what that looks like. The Yokwi I haven't completely finished yet. So I'm not gonna tie that in quite in the same way, at least at the moment. It depends on like whether they bring in like the Yokwi separatist group like more explicitly towards the end, so I'll have to see how that works. But like the issue is that like all of the ones in Dawn Trail, they have that same epilogue function as they do in Endwalker, but they're all like responses to like different parts of the story rather than to something overall and something more cohesive. And like as a result, it like shows the way that Dawn Trail's narrative plays out like tends to have these slightly truncated story narratives where like things get brought up and things happen but nothing really gets resolved, and then they're resolved in like basically side content like down the line. But like I think this leaves you with this sense of like nothing really having like the weight that it needed. Like all the Mamulja stuff is a really good example of that, because it's literally like, oh yeah, like we've been basically sacrificing our children for generations, like in pursuit of this goal, and then it just comes down to like you beat some you go, would you like some crops? And they go, oh well, that would be great, our problems are solved. And then you move on to like fighting a space. Then you move on to like what is essentially a filler arc in Cowboy Land. And don't get me started on like Shaloni. Shaloni is a very weird zone in this game. No, Wilklamat's story is basically done. Like she had a solid story. She like had a solid arc. And now she's the ruler of Tuliolau, and we'll see her once in a blue moon, like we see Americ and Ralban and Lys. And after that, I don't think it's quite that simple. Like I actually do like Wuklamat's arc, because it's like she's fundamentally someone who likes to understand other people and come to some kind of consensus-based peaceful solution. But, like, as it shows throughout the story, like, both with Zoralja and with Sphene, like, she's very aware that, like, understanding a group of people does not peace make. Like, you can understand where someone is coming from and still go, I need to beat you up and make you go away. Which I think is, like, a very, like, solid... Like, is it played out in an overly utopian way? Like, yes. But that is kind of an issue with 14 as a whole. Like, it tends to go for, to be honest, slightly saccharine, like, utopian conclusions to conflicts. But, like, Wuklamat's, like, ultimate journey is fundamentally just the experience of, like, just, like, you should always learn to understand people, but understanding people, like, doesn't necessarily mean you won't have to, like, defeat them. Because, like, ultimately, like, yeah, she does get to learn, like, she does know Zoralja, and she does get to know about the Alexandrian people and, like, the regulators and how they live their lives, but ultimately, letting them continue exist, like, is an existential threat to, like, everybody else, and so so you have to defeat Sphene. Because, like, there is actually no peaceful solution to this. And, like, I think that's kind of like that's kind of what ties the two halves of Dawn Trail together, and that the first half, which is like the succession arc, is like fundamentally about like learning to understand different cultures and learning to understand like how to build like a solid multicultural society that actually primarily functions. And like like, and how you can resolve conflict peacefully, and there are solutions, and there are, like rational reasons for, like, irrational results. Like, the Memulja is a good example of this, in that it, as much as it's resolved in a very overly straightforward way, it is fundamentally, it's like, okay, why are they doing all this stuff with blessed siblings? And then it's like, it's because they live in an area with, like, basically no agricultural potential, and so they feel the need to, like, expand and colonize, like, in pursuit of, like, resources that they lack. And so it's like, okay, we need to solve their resource crisis, and then, like, the issue will go away. And, like, the way it plays out is very, like, overly nice and overly easy, to be perfectly honest, but that is, like, the fundamental core of that part of the narrative. Whereas the second half of Dawn Trail with Alexandria, like, is fundamentally the question of, like, okay, you've learned how to do this, like, you've learned how to build a pluralist society based on mutual understanding. But what happens when you meet a group that, like, even if you understand them, like, their lifestyle is fundamentally incompatible with, like, your society and, like, its continued survival? And that's where you need to go and, like, beat up Zeralja, who is his own kettle of fish. Like, he's not half-baked, but he is, like, a very opaque character a lot of the time. He's someone you kind of have to read a lot into in order to actually understand, because he's very just, like, he doesn't talk, which is a problem. Yeah, it's like, and that is kind of another issue, I think, with Dawn Trail, is it does rehash a lot of plot beats from, like, Garlemald and, like, with Garlemald, with Endwalker, with Shadowbringers, like, in a way that I do think, like, felt a bit too samey. Like, as a good example, like, I have a couple of friends who pointed out that Meteon's whole story is kind of an AI story. Like, even though Meteon is not, like, a computer, like, the dilemma she faces is very, like, reminiscent of a lot of computers and sci-fi stuff, where what is essentially the issue is that she's given, like, a faulty set of instructions, and then she, like, which is to, like, basically find the meaning of existence. And then she goes out to find the meaning of existence, and then comes to the conclusion that, like, there is no meaning to existence, and therefore existence is meaningless. Or that the existence is suffering, and therefore it should end. Yeah, she learned depression. But she learned depression because she was given, like, a really flawed set of instructions, which is a classic kind of sci-fi AI trope, where, like, a computer, like, you know, destroys humanity because it's given, like a weird... It's given, like, a set of instructions that lead it to the conclusion that destroying humanity is, like, the best course of action. And, like, then Sphene replicates that exact, like, structure, but in a more literal way, because she is actually an AI. So there's a lot of things like that, where it's just like, okay, you kind of just rehashed, like, very similar plot beats, but in, like, a much more explicit way, which I think is, like, that is kind of part of Dawn Trail's problem, is that it's a bit too didactic, in the sense that it, like, didactic in the sense meaning that, like, didactic stories are stories that try and teach you, like, a moral lesson, but in a very, like, explicit, like, and this was the moral of the story kind of way. Like with Aesop's Fables with the tortoise and the hare, and then it gets to the end and it's like, and the moral is that slow and steady wins the race. And there's a bit too much of that in Dawn Trail, where, like, it doesn't just let the narrative breathe in ways that you, the player, can reach the conclusions that it is trying to lead you towards. It's a bit too, like, and the solution was friendship. Which, like, is fine. Like, a lot of Final Fantasy games are, like, and JRPGs in general are, like, the solution was friendship, but they don't always just, like, turn to the camera and go, and the solution was friendship. They just show, like, friends overcoming adversity together. And I think that's a lot of the problems with Dawn Trail, like, is the combination of the slightly too on-the-nose writing, combined with its, like, repetition of tropes from earlier expansions in a way that doesn't always lend its put itself in the most favorable light. That's just Xenos. Like, Xenos has his own, like, Xenos' role in Endwalker is something I really like, in that, like, his whole point is to show that, like, your reasons are always your own, even if other people think they're kind of selfish and stupid. Like, yeah, his reason for existence is to have a really good fight with you, and, like, that is the thing that stops him succumbing to existential despair. And, like, that's a really stupid reason. And, like, the Warrior of Light is like, dude, what? Like, why is this your reason for existing? But, like, it illustrates that point, which is the triumph of hope over despair. And the fact that, like, your reasons are ultimately your own, and that it's not really anyone else's... Like, it's not really on anyone else to, like, validate whether your reasons are good reasons or not. Even though, like, I mean, yeah, you can judge them for, like, having, you know, like, you could judge Xenos for, like, yeah, like, killing a bunch of people and destroying country. But, like, that you can critique the results, but not, like, the root, I guess. It's a good way of putting it. Like, his scene with Euless is, like, so good. When, like, Euless is like, why did you, like, literally destroy the Empire? And he's like, for nothing, it turns out. And then, like, Euless is just like, what? And it's like, yeah. And then Xenos calls him out. He does that whole, like, would it be better if I had a good reason? Like, a reason that, like, you find validating. Which is ultimately what Garlemald was doing. It was engaging in, like, a project of, like, violent imperial expansion and subjugation for a whole bunch of reasons that it used to justify itself, which were, in the minds of the Garlean people, good reasons. They were the reasons that, you know, Garlean civilization was superior. They were the reasons that, like, they needed to expand because they didn't have ether capacity, so, like, they would be vulnerable otherwise. Like, those were, like, quote-unquote good reasons. But, like, that didn't make what happened right. Like, and I think that's kind of the kind of the moral that Euless kind of ultimately learns, is that, like, it's that issue where, like, if Xenos had destroyed Garlemald for, like, I don't know, like, if he'd come out and say it was for the good of the Garlean people, would that have made all of the atrocities that he committed, like, worth it? Like, in the minds of some people, like, yeah. And so he's just like, no, I just did it all for, like, my most selfish, like gratification, because I wanted the world to come and fight me. And then the world didn't even fight me. So it was actually completely pointless. Endwalker is so good. It has, like, such good, like, this is the thing. Like, this is a good example of why Endwalker's writing is just generally better than Dawntrail's, even though, like, I love a lot of the themes that Dawntrail works with. Like, I feel like Dawntrail falls down, like, very specifically on the level of, like, actual, like, beat-by-beat plot writing, like, more than anything. Because I love so many of its themes, like, I love its, like, reflections on Legacy. I love the way it, like, uses Legacy in a very different way to the way that Shadowbringers uses Legacy, where Shadowbringers uses Legacy as, like, a subset of its meditations on grief, and Dawntrail uses grief as a subset of its meditations on Legacy. I love the weird meta elements of the way that Dawntrail draws on both Final Fantasy IX and Final Fantasy XI, like, as part of its, like, fixation on the concept of Legacy. And the way that it situates it, like, partly in the legacy of the FF franchise as a whole, but also of itself, like, as an MMO. Yeah, like, Xenos is really a foil. Like, Xenos is really interesting in that, like, I found him okay in Stormblood, like, not really as a character. Like, I don't really feel that Xenos is a character in Stormblood in a lot of ways. Like, he's more just like an embodiment of the Garlean Empire. But then I was very disappointed when he survived, quote unquote, because it was like, really? That guy? But then Endwalker, like, really, in my mind, like, redeemed a lot of, like, the justificatory logics of bringing him back as a character. Because it became very much about, like, what is, like, it basically, like, it justified that narrative decision because it really gave him, like, a core thematic role in Endwalker's story. And in the conclusion of, like, honestly, like, the arc that started really in Stormblood, like, Stormblood, Shadowbringers, Endwalker are kind of, like, a unit in terms of narrative. Like, Heavensward is too, because it introduces a lot of the stuff with the dragons, and that's, like, a key part of the later stuff, but, like, Heavensward's, like, story itself is very relatively self-contained, and then it's really the arc, it's really the story that begins, like, post-Heavensward with, like, the build-up to the liberation of Alamigo that, like, continues, like, through to Endwalker in a lot of ways. Because you've got the whole, like, you've got the war with the Garlean Empire, you've got the introduction of Xenos, you've got, like, the, like, realignment of the Ascians and the Ancients, you've got all the stuff with the First, which is, like, a weird isekai intermission that, like, recontextualizes, like, the entire franchise. It's just, like, a very, it's very weird structure, but it works really well. But yeah, I'd say, like, ARO and Heavensward are kind of, like, a piece, and then, like, Shadowbring, like, Stormblood through Endwalker are kind of, like, a piece. Even though, like, obviously, like, there is in a sense that they're all just one big saga. But I'd say those are the kind of major arcs in it. But then you've got, and then Dawntrail's kind of starting its own thing, and it's interesting, and I'm curious where it's going to go. One of the reasons I'm really excited for 7.4, it is the Chronicles of the Wall. But yeah, I'm really excited for 7.4, because 7.4 is going to be our first proper look at, like, post-Dawntrail story. Even though obviously it's still going to be in, like, the Dawntrail zones and stuff, but it's going to give us our first hints of, like, okay, like, where is 8.0, like, leading us? Like, what are we going to be moving towards? Like, are we going to be going to, like, other shards? Are we going to go to, like, other parts of Atheris? Are we going to go somewhere completely unexpected? Are we going to do time travel again and go into the past or something? Like, could be, like, a whole bunch of stuff. Like, and so, like, I'm really excited just to see where 7.4 is going to go. Even though, generally speaking, 0.4 patches don't tend to be major steps in that direction. Like, they tend to be tying up a few loose ends and then setting the stage for, in general, for the next story. I'm just gonna, like, unqueue this and then maybe queue again, because apparently it's been 21 minutes of me yapping and the key still hasn't popped, so let's reset that. Let's go enter Pilgrim's Traverse, enter his match party. Let's try if I can. Yay! Okay, I can do the 11 to 20 now. Should have just done that earlier. But yeah, I'm really enjoying. But yeah, I'm really excited for where the story's going to go, because it's like, okay, like, where is FF14 going to go in 8.0? Yeah, like, I hope they take feedback, like, I won't say, like, critically, like, but I hope they like look at, like, underlying reasons for things, because I mean, they're not as bad as some, like, companies for, like, integrating feedback, because you get some companies that are, like, they don't ever look deeper than the, like, the actual critiques. They just go, oh, people didn't like that, so let's get rid of it, rather than, like, okay, why didn't they like that? Like, is there something we can do to, like, rectify or redeem it in some ways? Like... But yeah, I really enjoy, it was really unnecessary. I think a big part of it is that, I'll be honest, like, all of the post-Endwalker story, like, the stuff with Zero, was honestly not great. Like, it was fine, but, like, I kind of think the lackluster nature of the post-Endwalker story, then combined with Dawn Trail, like, is part of what was to blame. Because it was very, like... It did feel like we'd kind of been dragging our feet for, like, years at that point. Also, it was kind of like... There was a lot of repetition in it, in that, like all of the, like, a lot of the Zero story was like, oh, we have discovered this poor person who doesn't understand human emotion, and we need to teach her how to be a real human. And then Wu Clamot's story was like, oh, here's a person who's really immature that we need to teach how to grow up, and it's like. And both of them were very, like, I'd say utopian in their execution, in that they were a lot of, like, there have been great tragedies, but through the power of friendship, and we could all come together, and understanding. And it had been kind of, like, there was kind of so much of that I think it tired a lot of people out. Yeah, that's kind of the issue. Like, and that's kind of why I'm not especially worried. Like, Final Fantasy XIV is a game that I do not actually worry about its future, as opposed to a lot of the other live service games I play, like, you know, Woo-Wah and ZZZ, because I have enough confidence in Yoshi P and in the team that, like, they will, like, they know how to integrate feedback, they know how to take stands where they need to take stands, like, they don't just cave to, like, they don't just cave to fan pressure when the fans are a bit much, to be honest. They integrate feedback, like, critically and carefully, and they have a strong vision for the game that they tend to stick to, even if they modify certain other things. And I think, like, with that, it means that I am just generally fairly confident. That's why I'm like, yeah, they'll misstep, like, especially if they do, like, big gameplay reworks in the next expansion. Like, I'm expecting some of the jobs to initially be, like, kind of terrible, to be honest. But I also know that they're open to working with player feedback to improve, like, job design. Sometimes, like, too much. Like, the whole reason we have the 2-minute meta and things now, for example, is because of player feedback. Because players complained about, like, having too much friction in combat. So they changed it so there was less friction in combat, and now everybody's very bored. And they were like... And they've kind of acknowledged that that's the thing. Like, that's one of the things that Yoshi P has explicitly talked about, is that, like, they streamlined stuff too much, and it, like, made people bored. And it's like, yeah, like... And so I think at this point he's a lot more, like, willing to just go, like, okay, like, what are we gonna do? Even if the fans didn't like it last time, we're gonna try and do something else. And that's one of the reasons the combat design in Dawn Trail has been so good. It's because they've been willing to go back to earlier concepts and ideas that they just like. Primordial Flash, heck yeah, it's gonna be so good. Primordial Flash is such a good votive to get in this. Yeah, it's like the 2-minute meta is like, it's one of those like be careful what you wish for things with the player base, because like it is itself like a direct response to player feedback, but it's also just made combat really irritating and like honestly like kind of really sucky if you don't do things perfectly, because it like the moment you miss a line like in a difficult fight, you're kind of just stuck being misaligned for like the rest of the fight, and that's like not good game design. Like, I tend to agree a lot with Mr. Happy when he talks about like the bits of Shadowbringers combat, where like I think he talks about it as like the 30 seconds meta, where basically like every 30 seconds, like there is like you have something on your cooldown that you can like. It basically was just abilities are a lot more spread out, and so like if you got misaligned on something, you could just wait a little bit and then like reinsert yourself on the next like 30-second rotation loop. And you didn't lose, like, overall efficiency, like, that much. Yeah. But, like, it does make me really excited to see what the 8.0 job, like, identity reworks are gonna be. Like, how are they going to redesign the jobs in ways that are exciting or interesting, or, just give you a stronger sense of identity. Because I think that's the important thing. It's like they talk specifically about job identity being like a key aspect of the next expansion. Like, rather than like not difficulty, not like yeah, not difficulty, like not even like job technicality, but specifically job identity. So it's kind of like, what are they going to do that makes playing a job feel unique and different to playing another job? Which honestly, I think a lot of the melee DPS are like, honestly, Fizz Ranged also is pretty good with this, but like, because the Fizz Ranged jobs all play, like, to be honest, quite differently to each other. But, like, a lot of the issue is with the tanks and the healers. Like, tanks and healers are, like, very, very samey. And that's kind of, like, a problem that I'm hoping they really fix. Especially, like, Dark Knight and Warrior are, like, really good. We'll probably be getting a new tank in the next expansion. Like, if the pattern continues. So, like, Stormlord, we got 2 DPSs. We got a melee and we got a Fizz. No, we got a melee and we got a caster. Shadowbringers, we got a tank and a Fizz ranged. And Walker, we got a healer and another melee. And then Dawn Trail, we got a melee and a caster again. And so if the pattern continues, in 8.0 we should get a new tank and a new Fizz ranged. And then hopefully in the one after that we won't just get another melee, because honestly more melees is kind of boring. Hopefully we'll get like a healer and like another caster or something. Or maybe they'll split up the Fizz ranged into like different groups. I do think the way that the jobs are structured is kind of wacky. in that there's like, what, 6 melees now? And they all play quite differently. I guess the thing is, with melees, we have 2 of each type now. We have 2 striking, we have 2 striking, we have 2 maiming, we have 2 scouting. Yeah, it will. Like, I mean, the game will be fine. Like, even though we've lost a lot of overall players, like, from Endwalker, like, there are still more players in the game than there were during Stormblood, for example. Like... So it's not like the game is in, like, a bad place. It's just in a worse place than it was, like, a couple of years ago. Like, in terms of player numbers. I think in terms of game design, I think it's still very solid. But I do think they really need to work with... Like... They need to work to make things like healers just better, to be honest. Healers and tanks. I think Gunbreaker is fine. I really like Gunbreaker, but I think a lot of the others, like, need to be more greatly differentiated. Especially Dark Knight and Warrior. Because Dark Knight and Warrior have too many, like, too many general gameplay overlaps. Like... Especially when they changed things with, like when they changed Delirium, like, lately, like, Delirium is now just, like, in a release. Like, it's literally just like, yeah, this is in a release now. Because it's like, oh yeah, it has the same number of stacks, it lasts the same length of time. All that's missing is it doesn't give you a big finisher now after you do your, like, I don't know, 3, after you do your 3, like, whatever they're called, whatever the ability is that you do as Dark Knight, I can't even remember. Yeah, like, that's another issue that Dark Knight has, actually, is that, like, it's really cool, like, thematically, it's really cool thematically to be, to have, like, your whole Shadow Clone thing, but, like, it feels really bad to use. Like... Which is, like, one of its huge problems. It's like, yeah, your big capstone ability is... just feels bad. Yeah, they really need to rework how a Steam, like, operates, because it is just, like, it does just feel bad. Like, Dis-Esteem, like, helps a little bit. I really like Dis-Esteem, actually, as, like, an ability for, like, a whole bunch of reasons. Ooh. Oh well. Boss is dead already, so... Yay! Take me to church. Like, I did a short, like, yesterday, that, like, is part of, like one of the things I really like about Viper is its whole, like, enhanced ranged attack that lets you feel like you're, feel like when you disconnect from a boss, you still have, like, really solid, like, combat options. And, like, there's a couple of other moves that other jobs have that that have the same function. And, like, Disesteem is, like, one of them, because Disesteem is, like, a ranged attack. And so if you time it well on Dark, you can, like, go, like, step back from a boss and yet still, like, have a huge bit of burst damage going out on them while you avoid an attack. And I just think that's, like, really good, like, just really satisfying, like, encounter design with jobs. Like, I think having those elements where you have resources that you don't necessarily hoard, but you have, if you, like, time your rotations well, because you know a fight really well, you can, like, basically have, like, 100% uptime on, like, and not just, like, by throwing out Piercing Talon, which just feels bad, because Piercing Talon is terrible. Okay, like, this really bothers me, like, so, like, the whole issue with Enhanced Unmanned, like, really bothers me, because, let's actually go on to Dark while I'm here, because I'll just change back once the queue pops. But, so, Enhanced Unmanned, which is, there it is, here. Enhanced Unmanned reduces recast timer of Shadow Stride by 5 seconds when executing unmanned on most targets. Okay, so the issue with this roll, there's two issues with this roll action. One, that it was always terrible, but the second one is Shadow Stride. So Shadow Stride is the new, is the replacement for Plunge. So originally this was Plunge, Reset, like, cooldown, reducer. And it made sense. Like, it was bad, but it still made conceptual sense, because you used Plunge as a damaging gap closer as part of your burst rotation. So there was a chance that when you separated from a boss, you didn't really have any on off cooldown. And so having Enhanced Unmanned served a very minute but still technical, like, function, in that, like, it let you get off a ranged attack to let you gap close in, like, more quickly again. Because, like, they could have just given you 3 uses of Plunge, to be perfectly honest, but, like, yeah, but I kind of get it. So the idea of it was like, yeah, you've used you've used both of your Plunge counts in your burst, you have to separate from the boss, this lets you, like, reduce that cooldown, like, very slightly from, like, you know, it's, like, 5 seconds, so, like, on a 30-second cooldown, it, like, lets you get it up slightly faster, so you can go back in and start beating up the enemy. Which is, honestly, great, that's really cool. But the issue now is, I mean, it was terrible, but, like, I get conceptually why it was cool. Or why they thought it was a good idea. But, Shadow Stride, it doesn't have any damage, that you don't use this in burst anymore, you only use it as a gap closer. Which means that, like, there is no point in having an ability that reduces its cooldown, because you're always really going to have uses of it. Like, what use, when is this going to be useful now? Like, you're basically always going to have 1 or 2 uses of Shadow Stride, because you're not using it in your burst rotation anymore. So, like, why is it even here? Anyway, yeah, that was my rant about Enhanced Unmanned. A really bad ability that is now not just bad, but actually, like, completely pointless. I hope they get rid of it in the next expansion, because it has no value. It has about as much value being here as the ability that Ninja had that they got rid of, which, like, gave you max, like, gave you maximum, like, Huton cooldown. like, after they got rid of Huton. Like, I mean, they still could have kept it and used it for something else, but yeah, it's just like, why? Oh, I got, I'm at 95. It's really bad, and, like, the one use case it had, like, no longer exists in the game. Like, that's what baffles me about it, because it's like, it was a bad trait that had a very minute, like, small, like, use case, which I could see some fringe, like, use on, which now no longer exists. So, like, the one use it may have had, now no longer exists. So it's like, what are you even doing? Like, why is this here? Like, either you should just give every tank, like, just that as a basic ability, which I think would be fine. Like, it would still be stupid, but, like, I mean, they could just give it to you on, like, level, like, you know, 90, whatever it is. Like, they just give it to you on, like, level, like, 96 or whatever, not 96, like, 98, alongside Enhanced Reprisal or whatever, and it's just like, yeah, cool, that's fine. Like, I don't mind it when it's, like, in addition to, like, just in addition to, like, an ability, and you get them both together, because it's like, oh, cool, it feels like a freebie. But, like, the way it is, it's like, either just all tanks should have, like, the ability to use their ranged attack to, like, reduce their gap closer cooldown, which is fine. Like, not especially useful or good, but, like, I wouldn't mind it if it was just, like, a universe. It's like one of those weird areas where I'm like, yeah, please more homogenization. Because, like... Because, like, why? But yeah, I hope they do a big tank rework. As much as I like playing Gunbreaker, like, I think Gunbreaker's the only tank that I actually think is in a good spot. Like, really. Like, Warrior is honestly too powerful. Dark Knight is just fine, but not great. Paladin's honestly pretty solid, to be honest. Like, I don't think there's actually a huge issue with Paladin. One thing, I was talking to Meta about this, actually, the other day, and, like, he brought up this, like, a point that I thought was quite interesting, which is I kind of think that, like, I think that a lot of jobs should actually have more MP management in them. Like, we all have, like, 10,000 MP on, like, every job. Like, why do most jobs, like, most non-casting jobs, just, like, not interact with that at all? Like, give us, like, some element of, like, MP management on, like, all jobs for some, like, in some way. Like, maybe a specific abilities, maybe, like, something else. I just think that would be kind of... It's just weird that we technically have this resource that is, like, literally useless. Yeah. But that's the thing, it's like, they could have just got rid of it. Like, but instead they keep it around, but it just kind of does nothing. Which is just like, okay, why? I'm just gonna go back. There's no point going in there. I got a Pilgrim's Potion, sweet. But yeah, like, I do think, like, one thing I do hope, and I think we will get in 8.0 with the job identity thing, is I think we'll get more, more, like, unique differentiations like that, like your point about, like, MP. It's so good. But yeah, I think we'll get, like, what was I gonna say? I think we'll get a lot more, like, differentiation, so I think having things like, oh, your ranged attack, like, has some unique benefit to, like, the job in some way. Like, you know, maybe it regens a bit of MP on Dark Knight, like you say. But I think we'll get a lot more differentiation of skills, in a similar way to the 2-minute mitts on tanks this expansion. I think we'll get a lot more like, oh, like, this, like, basically universal ability that you have, like, has some unique, like, additional function, that only, like, is only on this job. Which I think would be really fun and kind of cool. Like, even if it kind of falls flat in places, like, I just think it would be, like, it's just an element that I think is kind of necessary for, like, the jobs, in terms of just, like, making them feel more unique. Get this food of candelabra. Primordial Flash! I love Primordial Flash, it's so good. Where is this track from? This is definitely a Shadowbringers theme. But I'm trying to remember, like, where it actually plays, like, in-game, normally. Because it's not just from here. This dude just, like, spawned, like... Yeah. That's the thing, I'm like... I think it might be an Amarang, actually. Like, I think it's like an Amarang theme. Yeah, the desert area. It's not like the day theme or the night theme. I'm like, is it the song that plays in Twine, maybe? Like, because Twine has that whole, like, melancholic, like, ruined Dust Bowl town kind of feel to it. And I feel like this might be the Twine theme. But I could be wrong. This is Katana Ravel, so, like, I know this theme. Amarang has, like, some of the best music in Shadowbringers, though. Like, I really like the Amarang theme. I'm just gonna let other people roll around as the big ball of death. Oh, there is an accursed horde somewhere. Oh, there it is. I see it. Oh, someone else picked it up. Okay. That's cool. No, everyone turned back. There we go. Can I just say, like, Ninja's job design is so top tier in this game. Like, I don't know who they have, like, designing Ninja specifically. But, like, every single expansion is, like, really good, like, progression of its core systems. Like, I don't think it's had a I think since the rework in, like, post Shadowbringers, like 5.1, where they moved like the Mudras onto the GCD and stuff. Like, I don't think there's been a single like change to Ninja that's been remotely like bad. It's just a really solidly designed job. But yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be playing for another like half an hour-ish. I might wrap up after this lore set. Actually, we'll see. But yeah, take care. I shall see you soon. Not see you soon, but yeah, please take care. Have a good day, and thank you for stopping by and having a chat. Oh. Oh, damn, we have a lot of... Is it even worth, like, exploring? So I'll just use that. So many bark bombs. That's really funny. I think this boss is gonna die so fast. Ding, 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 ding. Dun, 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 dun. Lost in the flood. Well, that, GG. Nice. I got a fragment of illumined etherpool glass. I think you always get one of those from that, actually. Clear enemy Series 3. Raise of Devotion. And let's open these sacks of first light. I got 2, nice. And 1, so I got 3. So I'm slowly progressing with those. I've got 18 now. I could sell that. Sell, like, trade that in, sell that. This thing, I might just throw it in the Grand Company chest, to be honest. Like, they don't sell for very much, but somebody might want them. Let's see, we've got... What do we buy, actually? So I've got 60 luminous oils, so I'm get a few more this week. I've been pretty bad with actually grinding these out. Like, I could probably have 99 by now, but like, I haven't really been bothered. But yeah, I'll probably get. I don't even know if I even want this hairstyle, but I might try and sell it for like fat profit. I want the ceremony of tea book that's like 50 ether pool glass, so hopefully I'll manage to pick that up. Don't really want any of the Fuwa stuff. I don't really want either of these mounts. Maybe the Pilgrim's Protector would be kind of cool, but like I could ride around. I could definitely ride around as a paladin or something on that. But like 99, I've got 18. Like unless they start progging like Quantum, I'm probably not going to get very far on that. I still need to even finish like the deep dungeon. I still haven't done 71 to 90. 71 to 100. So yeah, I'm probably going to save up for this. Save up for this. I've got another. How many can I get this week actually? Just on the type, not the timer. On the challenge logs that I have, deep dungeons. So I can get another 8, and yeah, I'm not going to get that 10 to be honest. Just another 8 basically. So that'll go to 68, which is fine. Then I can get another 7, 8, like, well, 15. Get another 15, like, the following week. If you go up to 100, I guess it's like 4 weeks in total of this, which is actually pretty fine. That's like a month. It's like fairly decent, to be honest. I'm really excited for the live letter on Friday because I really want to... I want to see some of the rewards. I really want to see what the gear is going to look like for the raid and for the tombstones. Because I'll be honest, like, the raid gear this tier has been fine. I think especially with the changes to the glamour coming up, because I'm slightly disappointed I didn't prog it, because I kind of want the coat, the casting coat, but not for casters, because they already play them. But I'm not going to bother to try and prog it this late in the tier, to be honest. Like, I think I'd just burn out if I did, and I kind of want to save myself for... Like, I kind of want to do a couple of things. I want to save myself for, like, the next tier, but also, with new gear coming out, I might just pick that up and then try and maybe prog some of the second tier, like, once the new patch drops and everybody's, like, eye level goes up and it's just a lot easier. So that should be okay. It's gonna just make things easier to do. Clear the area marked by stone 7 improvements traverse. Yeah, okay. So I could maybe get... I could maybe do the whole thing this week, but we'll see. I might try and do some more tomorrow. What's the time? It's 12:30. I'm like, is there anything else I want to do, or should I just wrap up stream slightly early? Let's have a look. What's in the timers? Custom deliveries. Oh yeah, I could level up Nita Wickway a bit. I could... I'm good, I think. Yeah, I need to wait for the daily reset on that. I think that would get me up to Yokri level 7, like, after today. So that would be nice. I'm gonna go and sell the things I want to sell, so... Let's go to the Crystarium. I'm really tempted to start progging, T, like the Epic of Alexander. Maybe before the next tier comes out, because of all of the what they're called, all of the ultimate weapons. Like, I'm not generally a fan of ultimate weapons, but I do kind of really want ultimate anarchy on Gunbreaker, because yeah, where is it? It's just my favorite. I absolutely love it. Not that one. There we go. Yeah, I just really like this weapon. I really like the T weapons in general. They're like some of my favorite. I just like the gear motif on them. I'm tempted to try, because I got to the end of phase 2 when I was progging T. I got to the end of like Brute Justice and Cruise Chaser, but like I didn't actually continue past that because I'll be honest, I kind of just burnt out on the game. I wasn't really enjoying it, but I feel like I might try and get back into that in the next few weeks and see if I can clear T before the heavyweight drops. Let's go to Summoning Bell. There we go. Alright, let's go to this one. Go. You sell history, sell items in your inventory. These I can just sell. That I'll just sell as well. Like, I don't think this goes for, yeah, like 140. I'll just sell this as well. There's no point putting it up on the market board. I'll just sell these as well, because I'll pick up a few more the next week. How much are these going for currently? At 2.4k each. That's good. And Sun Guild. I'm gonna put these up. Just make a bit of money. There we go. Undercut very slightly. I'm sorry. I am a monster. Let's have a look. What is this actually used for, like the corduroy felt? Oh, it's the Wintertide glam from last year. What's the I think I have the Wintertide sheath skirt actually. Yeah, because it's the one with the that little red like dangly on the side. Yeah, I used that already. What's the Wintertide culottes? Not a fan of these. The textures are nice, but yeah, no. This is pretty decent. It's a nice fluffy winter sweater, but yeah, and a trapper's hat. Sweet. I can pretend I am out in the... I can pretend I'm out in the Yukon or something. And then some shoes, which I'm also not really a fan of, to be honest. Yeah. No wonder like this isn't selling. I should probably just like... I think I'm just gonna put those on the market board, just in case somebody wants them. Because I don't really want these. They're going for 8k, so... That's something. That's 8,800. Yeah, there we go. Someone else can make use of those. Sacramental spices, sacramental grain, sacramental light. Let's see. I think tomorrow I might be doing some cosmic, because I kind of want to grind out the hoverboard, because I kind of want that. So, like, because I'm on 44 of the Fioneer token booklets now. Basically, you trade 100 of these for one of these, and you need 60 of these for the mount, which is like a sci-fi hoverboard. So my plan is I need another like 1,500 of these, basically. So I might try and grind those out tomorrow on stream. And I might try and progress some other weapons, some other cosmic tools. So for example, I am currently, I was gonna say, yeah, let's go. So I have these three. I have all the gatherers, and then I have alchemist and culinarian at max. So I have this stellar alembic, the level phase 14 cosmic tool, and I have the stellar fry pan. Also, I love the stellar fry pan. Look at it. Look at the way it glows. Look at the way I wield it like a weapon. The crafters and gatherers all use the paladin the Paladin moveset, like in terms of stance and stuff, which is really funny because you can run around with like a frying pan that you're going to beat someone with it, which I just think is genuinely really funny. But, or like a giant crafting saw, or a hammer, which is honestly also kind of funny. But, in general, I might try and level up Armorer, like, because that's my other specialist. So basically, I could level up any of these 6, because these all have, like, basically the level 1 tool. We've a leatherworker, goldsmith, armorer, blacksmith, carpenter. Carpenter's probably going to be the last one I do. I don't really like Carpenter. I don't like playing it very much. But, like, it is something that I could definitely make some progress on. Especially if I want to make, like, crafting materials for the next patch. So we'll see. But I kind of like yapping and grinding out cosmic tools, so I might be doing that some of that tomorrow, but we'll see. I think we'll probably do that and then queue for various things in the intervals. I think that probably feels appropriate, to be honest. So yeah. I think I'm gonna wrap up. Yeah, I've got 20 minutes until like I had to wrap up anyway, so I think I'm gonna wrap up here. Let me just move to my stream end. There we go. Oh, look at me. Hello. But yeah, I just want to say thank you for joining in. I had really good chats today. Thank you for chatting away. It was just really fun. You can follow me on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky. I'm Lorika Lorray, same username on all platforms. So yeah, you can find me there. I will be streaming again tomorrow. This is going to be an FF14 heavy week. I'm going to be streaming some more of FF14 tomorrow, where we'll probably be doing a blend of Cosmic Exploration and Cosmic Exploration tool progress and like various roulettes, like as they pop. And like particularly if I can maybe try and get like into Sandoria. Might try it later tonight, we'll see. And then on Friday, we'll probably be playing a little bit and then watching some of the live stream. Probably not all of the live stream, because part 2s can be kind of long, so we'll see. But that's going to be my plan there. So that starts at 11. I go live at 10, so I'll probably be pottering around, checking some things, maybe trying to make sure I can have fairly, like, kind of live translations of the stream while it's running, because it will be in Japanese. But we'll have to see. Like, I might decide not to stream the live stream because this is like a fairly chill. This is like a fairly chill stream, and I don't have like a huge amount of Final Fantasy fans, so launching a live stream in Japanese might not be the most exciting thing for you all, but we'll see. We'll see. I just want to say thank you all for being here. I hope you have a really lovely day, and I'll be back tomorrow at 10 AM GMT with more Final Fantasy XIV. So thank you so much. Take care. The Riker out.